Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Philly sports talk morning show with Chris, KJ, and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
It is the Saturday before the Super Bowl. You can see me and Mac all decked out. Mac, you're looking very Mardi Gras-esque over there.
Yes. A lot of these beads are actually from Mardi Gras. They're actually from Bourbon Street. So, except the one I got this yesterday. But yeah, I got the Super Bowl jersey. I know people are gonna be like to me and Dalt, you guys are gonna bring us bad luck. That's karma. We didn't buy any championship gear. I didn't buy any NFC championship. This is not an NFC championship hat. It just says Fly Eagles Fly. But yeah, we are pumped. We are excited. It still doesn't feel real because it's been a long 2 weeks. I don't know about you, Dalt, but this feels like a longer 2 weeks than it was the last time we were in the Super Bowl. I feel like it's way longer. I don't know about you.
I definitely feel the same. Forever. It's been long, and like anticipating. We don't know what's going to happen. I was listening to WIP this morning, getting ready for the show. Shout out to them and what they do. But just tuning in and really kind of getting a feel for how the people are feeling. And one of the questions is they ask people, how do you feel in one word? Describe it. Sorry, I'm getting my mic all set up. Just want to make sure my marketing and branding's all right. Shout out to St. Joe's. Anyway, point is that everybody, like half the people are like my boy, actually, which is a perfect introduction into our guest, Broad Street Sports. Joining us today. Ryan, how did you feel when I asked you how you felt about this weekend?
I said I was confident. This is the most confident I've been. Now, I was confident. I'll say this. There's no reason not to be confident. This team has given me reasons to be confident for the way they fought through adversity, the way they came back after the first 5 weeks of the season, the way they held on to the game against Green Bay, the way they held on to the game against Los Angeles, after the way they just crushed Washington. This gives me no reason to not be confident about this game. And for all the people that are saying that they're nervous and scared, I get it. It's Mahomes. That guy's the top 2 quarterback of all time. But here's the thing. The Eagles have gotten better since 2022. And the Chiefs have gotten worse since 2022. And I think, I'm reading somebody comment, somebody says, real 2017 vibes. I feel it. I really do feel it. I think we're hungry. I think we're ready. And it all comes down to this, but there's no reason to not be confident. I think Eagles win 31-20.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for sure. As Ryan was just saying before, you got Mahomes on the other side. You got Andy Reid. You got Travis Kelce. You got all the weapons they have over there. And obviously, they're a great team. But they really have been winning games this season in the most lucky ways. And I feel like it's just what the Kansas City Chiefs do. They might not have the most skills. I think we have the more talented of a team. Right. Obviously, I think in 57 we did as well. But the thing is with the Chiefs, though, they know how to win. And that's the main thing. They know how to win. And sometimes it's not in orderly fashion, but they know how to win. You got to give it to them. And it's for the people out that are saying that they're nervous for this game, I get it. The only thing I'm only nervous about, and I'm not nervous about the play. I think the Eagles, as Broad was just saying, the Eagles are the better team on paper. I think they're going to win this game. But I just think the only thing that is at the back of my mind is that the refs or something else could play part in this, where we've had a controversial call that jeopardized the last Super Bowl in Bradbury. But I mean, if you think about it though, too, even that jeopardizing call, Jalen's got to hold onto the ball. And I think if he holds onto the ball, if he plays how he's been playing confident. I feel like he's been playing very underrated. And a lot of people have been giving him a lot of crap. The dude doesn't turn over the ball. The dude does not turn over the ball. He's great with it. And I think this team is ready and they know what's at stake. They've been here before. A lot of them were here for the last Super Bowl. And I think they're ready.
I think a lot of our fans too. I love how you both just hit the nail on the head. Like, it's like we're ready. Like, we've been ready for 2 weeks, as KJ was saying. It's been a long 2 weeks. We're just ready for this game, ready to get our revenge, and ready to shut the Chiefs the hell up. But we got plenty of Eagles football to talk about for you guys. I love it. We're in the midst of my favorite team and their favorite season, and hopefully looking to get our second Lombardi trophy. But quick on tap for you. We got a NBA trade deadline. Going to talk about the Sixers and what the hell they can do there. NFL Honors Snub and whether or not we think Saquon Barkley should have been the MVP or maybe Lamar Jackson, who that should have been. BG is back for LIX, the impact that he'll have on the Super Bowl. And last but not least, as we were just kind of alluding to, we're going to get way more in depth for the longer part of the show, giving you guys everything you want to know about Super Bowl 59 and how our Philadelphia Eagles will get revenge on the Chiefs. But Mac, I'm going to bounce past it to you, brother.
I got it.
Sixers, how do we dig out of this hole, man?
Oh, man. I mean, I got to say this, and I said this on the show on Wednesday, and I didn't go into too much detail about it, and I won't go into too much detail, but that was the craziest trade deadline I've ever seen, maybe in sports. I mean, that was just insane. To get the news, I was on vacation for a little bit, and to get the news from my brother, and he was telling me, he's like, oh, yeah, Luka Doncic got traded to Lakers. I'm like, wait, what? And I was like trying to process that properly. And I just couldn't. It took me about like 10 minutes. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm searching this up. And it was true. And everything was actually legit. So, yeah, Luka Doncic getting traded for AD, that was insane. And I had no idea. I always thought Luka would be a Maverick. To see that he's going to go to Lakers, it's mind-boggling. But, yeah, I mean, with our Sixers, though, there's a lot of other trades. I thought we were going to maybe somehow get Jimmy Butler, but no, we didn't get him. We didn't get Jimmy Butler, guys. We got Jared Butler.
Yeah.
We got Jared Butler. I didn't even know who the freak he was. Are you kidding me?
Were you mad about Jimmy Mac? Because you didn't get a chance to say that on the show.
A little bit, because here's the reason why. I felt like we've been very, and I think Ryan agrees with me on this, we've been very disappointed with Joel Embiid and just the whole like situation with him. And I know that he's got the whole like injuries going on. He's got the injury bugs. I mean, it's constant. He's injury prone. We've come to that. We've come to grips with that. But the problem is with him, it just seems like he's not motivated to go out there sometimes and play. There's times that he should have played this year and he didn't. And I think the one guy that can get him out of that funk is Jimmy Butler. He had fun. When they were playing together, they had fun when they were playing. Like, he felt like he had one of his best seasons when he was playing with Jimmy Butler. And the team was in sync. And then the offseason, they broke it up. They decided to pay Tobias Harris, a guy who loves crumble cookies and endorses them and whatever the heck. And then you decide to also pay Ben Simmons, who actually is now just a nutcase, and he's getting a buyout with the Nets. They don't even want him. And I don't even know if anyone else wants him. He's probably going to go to I don't even think Australia wants him. So we'll see. No, he's not going to back the Sixers. No one. We don't want him. No, that guy is never welcome back. Heck no. But here's what I'm going to say, though. The Sixers, though, they had some prime opportunities to kind of help this team out, and they did and they didn't. The thing was that, like, I kind of realized, like, when we got Caleb Martin, I was like, okay, you know what? This team is really going to try and go for some kind of finals run. We got a guy who has been able to stop Boston. He's been able to stop Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown before for the Miami Heat. But then, like, I mean, we played them on Christmas. He had a great game. And then we trade him. I mean, we weren't playing for a little bit. I think something happened, and I don't really know. It's something with maybe Nick Nurse and him. I don't know what happened, but it just seemed like it was weird that I heard that he got traded. We got Quentin Grimes, I think he's a great 3-point shooter, but we'll see how he works here. But I've just kind of come to this conclusion. it is what it is with the Sixers, and it is depressing. I will always be a Sixers fan. I know people are like, "Oh, are you done being a fan?" No, I'm a Sixers fan for life, and that's how it works. I'm a Philadelphia sports fan for life. But there were some opportunities that the Sixers could have been able to make. They could have been able to make some trades. I honestly think Paul George could have been one of those moves. I think Paul George could have been traded, and he should have been, because the guy, if you think about this, he has more. And this is a crazy stat. Think about this. He has more podcast episodes than field goals made, something like that.
I saw the report. He had like 228 podcasts, like 197 field goals made. It's like, what are we doing here? What even is that? At that point, what even is that? Right? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
So what I will say about the Sixers is what KJ said when it comes to the NBA trade deadline, when we saw Luka get traded, AD get traded, and there were a couple other big trades that was not coming to the top of my head, but there were a couple other ones. You're right, Butler. So the thing is, when you see them, right, and you see the way that Embiid's playing, you see the way Paul George is playing, you see the way that the Sixers team is right now, and you see the way that the market is, you see how all these star players are being traded for this and for that, and it looks like the market is really, really good. If I was Daryl Morey, why was he not on the phone trying to ship Paul George? Why was he not on the phone trying to ship Joel Embiid? Now, most people will sit here and say, well, I could see us trying to get rid of Paul George, but why are we trying to get rid of Joel Embiid? Let me tell you why we should get rid of Joel Embiid. To KJ's point, he's injury prone. The guy's never on the basketball court. That's number one. He got his money and he ran. So that's one, okay? And then they say, well, he just doesn't have the right system around him. There's not enough guys around him, not enough shooters, not enough defense, and Nick Nurse isn't good enough. Well, here's the thing. You want to look back on Joel Embiid's career? Let's look back on Joel Embiid's career. This guy, how many systems has he gone through where we built a team around him? You want to start with his career. Number one, we drafted him injured. He didn't play for 2 whole seasons, so we drafted him injured. So he comes into the league and he has to play with Ben Simmons and Brett Brown. That's like his first little bit there. Then he goes out and he has to play with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, J.J. Redick, and then still have Brett Brown. I mean, so then you get rid of Brett Brown because apparently he was the problem. So then you bring in Doc Rivers and new system again for Joel Embiid. That doesn't work. And then you bring in Tyrese Maxey, and now you have Nick Nurse, which again, we thought this was the new system. This is what we thought was going to win us a championship. We're trying to build around Joel Embiid. Doesn't work. Now you bring in Paul George, which we thought was going to motivate him to want to play and want to be there. Doesn't. Tyrese Maxey, him almost basically being in his prime. We thought that was going to want to motivate him. No. We thought that Caleb Martin was going to motivate him. No. So everybody wants to say, well, he doesn't have the right supporting cast around him. How many opportunities, how many supporting cast, how many schemes can we let him go through until we just say it's over with? He may be the problem. Maybe it's not the rest of the team. Maybe it is the problem. Maybe he is what is seriously holding this team back. But if I was Daryl Morey, I'm on the phone with all these different teams and I'm calling. I'm trying to ship Paul George. I'm trying to ship Joel Embiid. You got to try and build around Maxey. You got to try and build around McCain. All these young guys you have right now, you got to. You got to. As much as I don't want to see the Sixers lose games in the tank, it's what you have to do to get right back to where you want to be. But I mean, you should have tried to ship somebody important like Embiid or Paul George, but his time's running out.
Yeah, I mean, what you were saying though with Joel, I think it's great. Like the thing is, I don't know if you guys saw yesterday. I mean, we lost the Pistons, and one of the reasons I saw
it was got like 12 or 13 points too, right? Yeah, like it wasn't close.
And our good old buddy Tobias Harris had a 22-point game.
Yeah, so 22 in 30 minutes. Yep.
Freaking pissed me off. He can't do that here for the Sixers.
And Paul George, let me just pull up his stat line because that was abysmal last night. But Paul George had more minutes and less points than Tobias Harris last night. So let me just pull this up. I mean, I got it up right now. So Paul George last night, 30 minutes and 14 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists, right? So then let's go to Detroit. Then let's pull up my main man, Tobias Harris, he plays 34 minutes, 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, and he was +7 last night. So, and Tobias Harris is playing on a $25 million contract, and Paul George is playing on a $50 million contract. Yeah. The Sixers are going to Sixer consistently.
Yeah. And what I was saying, though, the crazy thing is, Embiid, I don't know if you saw this, Embiid was fighting with Kelly Oubre. They were having a huge argument, and they were actually going at it with each other. I don't think there was fist thrown or anything like that, but they were like it. And it was Embiid. It looked like Embiid was blaming Oubre, which Oubre's been playing games. You've been sitting on the bench. Right. You've been like in your like you're not even suits. You're in your clothes where you got your crowd fits or whatever you got on, like some weird clothes. And you're literally like shooting in the air, like you're practicing or whatever. And we don't see you playing for the next like freaking 20 games or whatever. So it's like, what are you arguing at Kelly Oubre's showing up. He's playing. You're not playing. You're getting paid so much freaking money. You're getting paid like an MVP star because you are when you play, but you're not playing.
This is an all-time McCoy rant. Rant. I'm loving this. The growl fit was, that one's going to hurt him.
He honestly just infuriates me. And the people that defend him, they're the problem too. They are the problem as well. You need to wake up and realize this guy is a villain. He's like, I represent the city. Oh, I love the city. No, Bryce Harper represents the city. Jalen Hurts represents the city. Saquon Barkley's only been here for a year and he represents the city. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, it's bad.
Embiid, you are a fraud, a clown, and I can't take it with it anymore. It's so annoying. I was such a big fan of yours, and it's just, I told Dolph this, just done with him, dude. So done.
What did you see? The most recent Paul George little thing here. And obviously we're talking about Embiid, but I just want to bring up this. So obviously Paul George came back, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, and the first game he played, he jammed his pinky finger.
Yep.
And missed 2 weeks because he had a jammed pinky finger. And didn't want to come out onto the court, but continued to make podcasts, by the way. So back to Joel Embiid. He has balls. He has balls of steel to treat as a teammate like that. Kelly Oubre, who's constantly on the court, constantly playing as hard as he can, driving the rack, scoring, and he's always out there with Tyrese Maxey. Always out there. And then last night, I don't really know the context, but I did see the video. And then Joel Embiid has the balls to start yelling at him. Who does he think that he is? Who does he think that he is? Yelling at a teammate that's constantly out there. Well, you're out there because you're 25 pounds overweight. You're never healthy. Your knee has no cartilage left, and you're never going to be okay. What? Well, come on. In what world does that make any sense? And the thing with Nick Nurse, this is the problem with the team. I think that they're realizing that there's no accountability whatsoever, and Joel Embiid is trying to make accountability. But if I'm a teammate of Joel Embiid and I'm trying to be held accountable by Joel Embiid, I'm going to tell you, F you. What are you trying to say to me right now? You should take your own advice, dude. That's just it.
Yeah, these guys are a dumpster fire. The only thing I'll say, just because I don't want to waste most of the show talking about this idiotic team, is they need like a clean sweep. And what I mean by that is you need to get rid of the guy right there in the middle, because KJ already hit the nail. He's like a cancer to this team. Until you get rid of Embiid, you're not going to get rid of that old process era. And they need to process from it. They need to process. They need to move on, get to the future, because it didn't work out. And the longer you keep Embiid here, the longer you keep trying to hold on to that, and the longer you're going to have games like last night, where you shouldn't lose, and then you just get your ass handed to you on national television by a guy that, as KJ McCoy said, isn't worth more than a crumble cookie. But I'm going to now move on, because we don't even want to talk about the Sixers anymore. We're just going to get all the negative parts out of the show. I know my guy Steven Clark is in here. I appreciate the hell out of you. This comment cracked me up. We're getting into it. I promise next topic will be there. But real quick, NFL honors. Personally, we all know MVP is a QB's award, right? We all knew this before the season started, that it was probably going to go to a QB no matter what. The season that Saquon, I have a problem with that though, because the season that Saquon Barkley had was not a season unlike any other running back. We know how underpaid he is, right? We know that he's paid, something like the 13th or 14th best wide receiver, who he has like so much more production than. But the way that he was snubbed in that, as soon as he got Offensive Player of the Year, I was sitting there and Alyssa starts jumping up and down. She looks at me and she's like, "Why aren't you excited?" She doesn't get it yet. I'm like, that probably means that he didn't win MVP. And she's like, oh. She's like, wait, why? I'm like, MVP is typically a QB's award. It's probably going to be Josh Allen. We all knew it before. The NFL feels bad for him, and I feel bad for him. The dude just keeps losing again and again and again to the Chiefs. But honestly, you hear Ravens fans talking about that his MVP is like an MVP Mickey Mouse trophy. They're making fun of him. You deserve it, this and that. Okay, fine. They didn't say that about Lamar last year, though, when you could have argued that Josh Allen could have had MVP last year. Like, it's been the same couple of guys the past few years at the end of the day who end up in the race. And except for McCaffrey, because he's in and out healthy-wise, and Saquon was held back by the Giants. But I do think Saquon will be a contender. Just the part that sucks for me the most is we all know he deserved that award. Like, if you want to talk about most valuable player to any team, offensive and defensive, if you take Saquon Barkley off that team, this team is not the same team that they are. I'm sorry if that sounds like negative Nancy. I know A.J. Brown's very good. I know Devontae Smith's very good. I know this offensive line is very good. I know that you could put somebody like DeAndre Swift in there and still have a productive running back. But he ain't going to be setting NFL records, going for Eric Dickerson's NFL record. So personally, I did think that this was a snub. I would have given it to Saquon 1, and then I probably would have actually given it to Josh Allen 2. But my question for both you guys is, if not Saquon or Josh Allen, I mean, you guys are allowed to say either of them, but if not either of them, who do you guys think deserved the MVP?
I mean, I do think, now, obviously I'm a Saquon guy, but I do believe that Josh Allen did deserve the award, right? Like without a doubt, if it wasn't him or Saquon Barkley, I'm very glad. I'm a Josh Allen guy. I love Josh Allen, but just the difference that he was to the Bills would have been his 5-6 win team without him. They don't have a good defense around them. They don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. You have a good running back, whatever, but Josh Allen single-handedly carried that team. Right. So I'm glad that he won. But when you look at the Eagles and you look at Saquon Barkley, you say, well, the Eagles would be a good team without Saquon Barkley, but he was the reason why they are where they are. He broke records. He did everything that he did. But when you really think about it, it is obviously a quarterback's award. But I mean, when you look at it, you have to say, well, the Eagles would probably still be a playoff team and could potentially still go to the Super Bowl with or without Saquon Barkley. But Saquon Barkley just made it easier. So when you look at the Bills and you say, well, the Buffalo, they would be nowhere near the same if Josh Allen wasn't out there. So that's my thing is, I mean, I would have loved the Saquon Barkley gotten it, but I'm glad that he got the Offensive Player of the Year. But, I mean, good for Josh Allen. But if it wasn't either of them, I would say Lamar. Maybe even, if not Lamar, I know people may disagree with this, but maybe even Burrow, because Burrow had nobody around him, and he was still able to put up numbers. So, I mean, yeah, but I think they got it right, though. I really do think they got it right.
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh Allen, I agree. I think Josh Allen did deserve it. I think, as Dalton was also hinting as well, I mean, it's really like disappointing to see. Like, I would have rather, to be honest, like have a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl. I kind of wanted that. But then also at the same time, though, I kind of do want revenge with the Chiefs. But I'll tell you this, though, Josh Allen is a heck of a player. He's went through some adversity with that team for sure. And I mean, the team in general, though, the Bills fans have went through a lot of adversity. I mean, they've been through a lot. To lose 4 Super Bowls like they did in the 90s, I mean, that was sad. And then also just them losing in the AFC Championship again and again to Mahomes. Like they can beat him. I know they can, and they're going to do it eventually. and where the refs won't be on the Chiefs side, but they're going to beat them one day. And I mean, I know they beat them in the regular season before, but they're going to beat them in the playoffs one day. I think they will. But Josh Allen, I think it wasn't like I was so mad that Saquon didn't win it, because like he won the Offensive Player of the Year. I think that like it's hard for a running back to really win the MVP trophy. The last running back to really do it was Adrian Peterson. So I mean, I think he's at an Adrian Peterson level. I think he's that good. I think Saquon is that good that you could compare him to a guy like Adrian Peterson as well. But I don't think that I think next year he could have a good chance to be an MVP. But honestly, I'd rather see him win the Super Bowl MVP. That's what I really want to see him do.
Yeah.
And I think he will. That's the main thing. So you know what? Like, I know we think about, oh, he should have won MVP. I'm not trying to think about that too much, because honestly, I want to see him have an insane game. And I think he will have an insane game this Sunday. So that's what I think the real trophy, that's the trophy that really matters. And obviously the biggest trophy that matters is a Super Bowl trophy. So, but yeah, with the snub also, I feel like Quinyon wasn't really I didn't think Quinyon was going to win it, because the thing with Quinyon is he's great in coverage and he's insanely good. He plays like a veteran corner. I think he's one of the best corners we've had in Eagles history already. And he's just a rookie. Like, that's how good his potential is. But the one thing about Quinyon is that he didn't have any interceptions in the regular season. I think that's the one thing that the NFL was looking for. And for Jared Verse, though, I think he had maybe some fumble return touchdowns or something like that. And maybe he had an interception. I don't know. But I'm saying the difference is the NFL is going to pick some defensive players usually that have kind of made some clutch plays, especially when you can make some clutch turnover plays. And that's probably the one thing for Quinyon. He didn't really cause any turnovers this year. He did in the postseason, in the playoffs. He had that interception that was crazy. I mean, to have your first career interception like that against the Rams, that was an insane catch. So I think with Quinyon, I know people were kind of pissed about that. I think Jared Verse kind of deserved it, but then I mean, they also, as I said before, I mean, they want a player that causes turnovers. That's why they gave it to him.
Yeah, they're going to be, I mean, the NFL honors as a whole, I thought that they got a lot of them wrong. Jared Verse, yeah, we kind of knew it was going to go that way before, like you said, KJ. It is what it is. But especially when you said Saquon Barkley has a chance to win Super Bowl MVP. BG is back in the lineup, guys. I mean, that's super exciting. He has a chance to go out there and get the better end of the wishbone. This is something I pointed out on 302 Birds. BG's all-time Super Bowl record is 1-1. So you know damn well that he wants to say he won more than lost more on his career. So even if he's not out on the field, what I'm trying to say is don't think that he's not going to be in Nolan Smith's ear, in Jalen Carter's ear, in the opposing team's ear on the sideline yelling at them. Like, even if he goes out there and plays 6 snaps, he's still going to have a humongous impact being in his uniform. Like, just for some of the younger guys like Cooper DeJean, seeing him in the pads, in the uniform, instead of a growl fit, maybe it's a Philly thing, but seeing him like in that element, in the huddle, screaming at them before the Super Bowl, that just provides so much more like meaning to them for this game. Obviously, we know the tragedy that happened on Cotman Avenue. I know that's on a lot of the players' mind, but I just feel like everything for the Eagles, they have so many reasons to play. Like, there's so many good reasons to play too. Like reasons that they should want to win this game, to make these people proud, to make the victims in that tragedy proud. So you have a real opportunity, Eagles, to do something really special this year and bring it home. No pressure. I'm not trying to put any pressure on them, but I mean, if they do, it's going to make it that much sweeter this year because of everything that the area have been through, the adversity that our fans have been through the past 2 years. Like, emotionally, I'm just going to say, I'm probably going to be bawling my eyes out if they win.
Same, probably.
Yeah.
Same.
But when I think about Brandon Graham, I do think that he's going to play in the Super Bowl. And I think he's going to have a real big impact. Now, I had a dream about this, and I was talking about this with my friends, right? When I think about Brandon Graham, and I think about what he can do and will do in the Super Bowl, How cool would it be if he gets in there and the Eagles are up by 4? And so I'm going to set this up for you, okay? I was listening to WIP. I think it was the afternoon show at Spike and Ike, and they were talking about, would you rather the Eagles be up by 4 with 2 minutes left and the defense on the field trying to make the stop, or would you rather the offense be on the field with 2 minutes left and down by 4 trying to go down and score? So here's what I will say to that. How cool would it be? Brandon Graham comes in for that final drive to try and stop the Chiefs, and he goes out there and he does a strip sack on Mahomes, just like he did to Brady, and secures an Eagles win. I mean, I was talking about that with my friends. He put an end to that Patriots dynasty, and he could potentially put an end to the Chiefs dynasty. But how cool would it be? He goes out there and he's able to strip sack Mahomes on the final drive of the game to secure a victory. I'm telling you right now, I think Brandon Graham is going to have a huge impact on this game Sunday.
Got me tearing up over here, Ryan, just thinking about that, bro.
Right. Like, it's like, because that's so storybook, right? Like, the NFL is all like, we could say it's rigged, we could say it's this, and we could say it's that, but the NFL, this Super Bowl has so many important things about Brandon Graham coming off injury, about to go out there and potentially get another strip sack. Okay, you have Jalen and Sirianni revenge. You have Saquon Barkley, his first year removed from New York, potentially winning a Super Bowl. His birthday is also on tomorrow. I think Cooper DeJeans is also tomorrow. The NFL is so storybook in that way that I would be nowhere near surprised if you go out there and see a Brandon Graham strip sack or a Brandon Graham major yard sack to give that Eagles team a win. Like, I'm telling you right now, I feel it. I feel it in my body that Brandon Graham is going to make a play that is going to secure an Eagles win.
Yeah, it could happen. It really could happen. And I mean, he's pushing through a lot of he's pushing through the injury that he had, obviously, this season that sidelined him. And he's playing this game. And it's pretty miraculous if you think about it. It just shows how much of a great human being he is, how much of a great teammate he is, how much of a great player he is in general. And he's just an Eagle great for sure. He is an all-time Eagle. And it's awesome to have a guy like BG on this team. So he brings the energy all the time. And he's always energetic. He's always got a smile on his face. So, I mean, if we see him do a play like that where he has a great he has a great turnover where he's able to cause a fumble or he's able to get a great sack to maybe seal the game, that will just be I don't think you can think of a better story like that. I mean, that would be awesome for his career. And I think you can obviously be like, all right, you know what? I'm good. I'm taking my kids to Disney, and you know what? I'm going off into the sunset, and I'm enjoying my life. So, and he'll probably retire. So, I think even if we do lose this game, I think he will still retire. I do think he's going to retire. So, I think it's really a legacy game for BG. I feel like
it is a legacy game, but that's a good point too. I personally think if we win this game, he retires. If we lose this game, I actually think he'll come back because of the way that this season started. I think he himself and this team was pleasantly surprised with the way that he started out this year. I think he was even oh, I didn't know I had that much gas left in the tank. But the one thing I want to say real quick before we kick it to Ryan too, because I know he had something he wanted to say. My barber pointed this out to me yesterday, and this is a really interesting theory. But you guys are about to be like, cue the Twilight music theory. Anyway, look at the L, right? What do you see in the L? What does that letter kind of look like if I turn it? An E.
An L?
An E inside. Yeah. See the green part? See the green part?
Oh, yeah.
And then if you look kind of closely, if you really want this to be an A, I guess you could make it out to be an A with this little top here. Okay. Then if you want, you turn this one at the angle. This kind of looks like the outline of a G right here is missing. So it's like an E, A, or I'm sorry, an E, A, G. Look, the E I definitely see. The rest, that's up to you. But Dylan,
Yeah.
my barber, that's an original theory of his. That was completely up to him. And he brought it up to me as I was getting my hair cut yesterday. And I sat there and I looked at the logo and I went, wow. Because the one theory I had was, if you guys remember the LVI logo, the colors are actually kind of flipped. The green is on top and the red is on the bottom. And there was more green than red last time. This time there's more red than green. Basically, everything's kind of flipped. And then they threw the, Saints, whatever you call it. I don't know what the technical name for that.
Florida Lee.
Thank you. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'm going to fucking butcher it. Florida Lee.
It's actually called Florida Lee, like Florida State and Lee. That's all.
Florida Lee. That's literally what it's called. This thing.
I'm pretty sure that's what the logo.
Hey,
the Saints logo is a Florida Lee. Apparently, that's what I've heard.
You are cultured, Mac. I didn't know that. So you get the most cultured award on the pod today. A Florida Lee. Thank you. You just taught me something. The Florida Lee, though, I mean, that all being on the bottom, I just feel like this is the Eagles' year. It's the reverse in the logo. I don't know. Am I smoking crack, Ryan? What do you think?
No, I truly do think this is the Eagles' year. And you know what? All the bad things I've said about them, all the negative things that have come out of my mouth about Jalen Hurts, about Sirianni, about everything. I know that we're not talking about Sirianni here, but if the Eagles do win this Super Bowl, I think that there needs to be some major praise going to Nick Sirianni, because imagine starting the year 2-5, or I mean, it could be 2-2. And people are calling for your head, including myself. People are going after you. You think your job's going to be taken, and you're yelling at fans. The team doesn't look good at all. And then now you're playing in a Super Bowl, and a Super Bowl where I think they will win the game. Like, he needs a lot of praise for the turnaround that he has. And but I mean, I just have it on the inside. Like in 2022, if I remember correctly, I had confidence, but I was nervous, right? I don't think there's a nervous bone in my body about this game. Like, obviously there is, we're playing Mahomes and Andy Reid after 2 weeks of a bye, But right now, I'm so overly confident that it may be bad. It may curse us, but I'm way overly confident.
And Dol, I found out, it's like Florida, like Fleur de Lis. That's what it is. But it is pronounced Florida Lee. That's what it is. Yeah. So they do with Florida. But yeah, I mean, this is as Ryan was just saying. I mean, this is we feel like we're all confident. We feel like this is our time. We feel like it's a better chance than 57. So I feel like we got a shot, boys. We got a shot for sure. So we just got to take it, and we just got to.
Yeah, it's the Eagles' time. They have this young core, and it's awesome. Take advantage of it while you are in your window. You don't know when you're going to get back. That was the one thing I said to KJ too. I was thinking about, look, there's some sentimental value to when your team is in the Super Bowl, especially the team you grew up watching. And I was partly going to watch with my boys from 302 Birds too, back home, Jack, Josh, the guys who I've known since third grade. I also wanted to watch with KJ in Philly. So I was kind of flip-flopping. Being in Philly's kind of a mess. But my mom said to me, she said, hey, you don't know when the Eagles, number one, could be in the Super Bowl again. It's so hard to get back. And you only really know that if you've watched your team and the players understand how much it takes out of them to get back. But number two, what if they win? You don't know when they're going to win again, let alone. Like, you could have what happened 2 years ago where you get right there. And then it's all, it's a really tough offseason. So I want to be there. I want to be in Philadelphia. I want to be in the midst of the chaos. Like, I want to be in the fuel of the fire, fueling the fire even more with our fandom. Right there, when we had this moment, just like we did 7 years ago, where we go crazy as a community. That's one of those rare moments in Philadelphia where it doesn't matter what neighborhood you're from, doesn't matter what background you're from, what class you come from, and who you are. It just matters that you have Midnight Green or Kelly Green on at the end of the day. It's the Midnight Green and Kelly Green Mafia, and I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, when I was on Broad Street recently, I mean, Dalt's exactly right. I mean, whatever, if you're wearing Eagles gear, it's just like, you know what? Like, that random dude's like my brother now. It's like that's how it is. Like that's how it is at the games too. I feel like so. I think it's going to be legendary if we win it. Also, I think he said in some scenario about fire or something. Speaking about fire, nobody light anything on fire. Please don't do that. And plus, just try and stay safe, guys. Because I mean, like obviously there was a tragedy that happened, unfortunately to a kid from Temple University. So, I mean, just try and stay safe, guys. I know it's an exciting time, and I mean we're gonna feel like we're on cloud nine if we win this game. But we got to celebrate in safe fashion and just have fun. So I cannot wait. I'm so just like excited for this. If they do lose and they lose if we lose and we lose by like 14 and like we don't play our best game, we get out dominated by the Chiefs and they just come out to play. I won't be so upset as I would if we get like there's like a controversial call at the end, as we said before, like the Bradbury call that happened 57. And it's something where you could go back and be like, what if this was called? What if this was called correctly? What if that? What if that? I hate thinking in all these scenarios. I feel like in all the championships that we've been in recently, they've all been what ifs. What if the Phillies kept the momentum in 2022? What if the Phillies didn't blow a lead they had in Arizona and Craig Kimbrell gave up those home runs and whatever? What if the Eagles didn't, obviously, if Jalen Hurts didn't fumble that ball? Like there's just so many what ifs, and I just don't want this to be one of those what if games like once again, because I feel like almost it's just like we're the laughing stock of just sports, but we're also like we've also been consistent though as a sports city. Like we've been going to championships, but we've been losing them, and I just want like all of that hard work as like fans. And like us doing podcasts and everything like that and doing content on TikTok and doing Instagram content as well. I think all this pays off and it all is just like, you know what, though, this is like the gift from wherever. I'm not going to try and get religious with it, but I think it's a gift from wherever. And it really is telling us that, you know what, though, I mean, like good things will come and hopefully the Birds just hear that. Hopefully they know that we care this much about them. And they get the dub.
Right. Well, what I really want to say here, and not to get like emotional or whatever it is, but you know, when we in 2017 when we won, right, I was still in middle school. So like I cared, but I wasn't like where I am now, where like it's the only thing I care about. I didn't like, you know, like I care, but it wasn't, you know, it just wasn't that important to me at that point, I guess. So, and when we won, you know, I saw my dad cry. I saw my family be upset and cry because, you know, like that, the first of their lifetime, right?
Have you ever seen your dad cry?
No. Only time I've ever seen my dad cry was when his father died and when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. Only time I've ever seen him do it. And my dad, like me and my dad, like I love him, but it's like, you know, we're close, whatever, but it's like a love-hate relationship a lot of the time, I guess, because I don't know, we butt heads a lot, but but I've seen like he cried with his dad and for the Super Bowl, and I didn't really know what that Super Bowl truly meant to him, to my family, to the city of Philadelphia. I just didn't know. And then in 2022, like we lost, and you know I was upset, and he was upset. But where it is right now, and how confident I am, I feel that I could almost cry. Like if we win this Super Bowl, I feel like it's my turn to cry and be happy that we truly won a Super Bowl, right? You know, you get where I am about that, right? Like he got his in 2017. I've had to go through the Phillies choke, Sixers choke, Eagles lose the Super Bowl in 2022, and now we're here. And I like that. Like this could be like our, you know, this
is our Eagles.
Yeah,
I hear you. This is our era of the Eagles. Like we are the ones, like especially our generation, right? I know I'm a little bit older than you, Ryan. I'm 26. I'm old as fuck. I was texting you this morning. My joints and shit got to defrost in the morning. Max a little bit younger than me at 25, but you're still younger too at 18, 19. So this team like I know what you're saying. This is like our first, not my first team was that 2017 team because when I was a senior in high school going into my freshman year was when I really I watched every game before. but I didn't like understand the ins and outs of football like I did. And I know what it means when you have that season that's right there. And then you're like, you're the one before the season that's like, you know what? I see this team on paper. I could see this all the way through. And you have the vision. You have the dream. And then they make that dream a reality right in front of you. And it's so cool that we have a football team that can do that, because I know what you mean. Our parents didn't have that luxury when they grew up. The Eagles were the laughing stock of all Philadelphia teams, if anything. The team that they said would never win a Super Bowl. And now look at them. They're honestly the golden child of Philadelphia over the past 20 years with all the success that they've had. So I definitely resonate with that point, man, that like for you especially, man, this is your Eagles team. Guys like Devontae Smith, like A.J. Brown, since he got here. You've been watching every single snap of those guys. You know their background. You know their lives. You know their families. You care about them like your own family. So that's why this moment will mean so much more to you, me, and everybody else. Great point.
Yeah, no, like it's just like I've just seen everybody emotional and obviously, like you said, I watched every game back in the day too, but like it just didn't mean as much to me as it does now. One, because of like the sports stuff that I'm doing, so like I'm more in tune. I'm more like fully indulged in everything that's going on. But just because like this, like, I've gotten, now that I'm older and in the high school and whatever, like I'm at the point now where we've gotten lucky with the success of Philadelphia sports as of recently. The Phillies on the runs that they're going on, the Eagles, I mean, the Sixers, the Flyers, I mean, whatever. But yeah, right. But like we've gotten lucky, and now it's the point where it's time to get the championship that we've waited years to get. It's been 7 years since that Eagles Super Bowl. It's been since I'm not good at math, but 10 plus years since the Phillies won their World Series. We need something in the city of Philadelphia, and I will cry if we win the Super Bowl, because it just means that much to me.
Yeah, same. Exactly. I'm going to be emotional for sure, as I said before. Just because, I mean, I was emotional in 2017, but as you were just saying as well, Broad, I feel like we're way more invested in it now. And I mean, like, obviously we're doing all the shows and podcasts like that, but I also feel like it's also like, it's not to be like, oh, prove people wrong and whatever, not that kind of stuff. But like, I see all these comments. I get all these stereotypes from people on TikTok or Instagram. Oh, you're an Eagles fan. Oh, you probably fight people. You probably spit at people. You probably do horrible, disgusting things. None of that's true. I was not raised to do that kind of stuff. I'm against the guy that was at the Washington game and he was taking the guy's hat away after the Commanders lost. Like, you don't do that. There was a guy that there were some fans who were antagonizing Commanders kid who actually had shoulder pads on. And he had a Commander's whole like he had the pants on and everything like that. And I gave him a fist pound and I said, "Hey, good game. Hold your head up." And I was like, "You guys will be back somehow." And there's guys like cursing and everything like that. And I was like, "Dude, like knock it off." But it's like we get all these stereotypes, and to finally like get a Super Bowl again, and at this time right now, it's just gonna feel even more special, because hopefully the people notice when I do get emotional. Just to know like what us good Eagles fans have gone through. And even like outside of football, like I've been through some losses. Dalt's been through some losses. Ryan probably has as well. So I mean, like in families, everything like that. So it's like, that's where you also think about it too. Like, I mean, today I'm literally going to go visit my cousin's grave before the Eagles game, just to talk to him about it. Cause that's what I always go about like 2 weeks. I lost my cousin about 2 years ago. So that for me, that's the thing that really gets me going, is just like kind of believing that like he's watching above and he's cheering on the Eagles because he was an Eagles fan as well. And I also know some other people who are huge Eagles fans, but it's just like there's so many things like combined together for so many people, and they can have different reasons for getting emotional. And you're like, you know what, you're being a sissy for crying and being so happy. You know what? It doesn't really matter. You know what? Because you showed that you care about this team, you cared about the city, you cared about this sport. So that's what really what it takes to be a fan. I feel like
I think you're more of a fan if you cry. I think you're more of a fan if you cry, honestly. Because like when Ryan said it, that was why I made sure to ask the question. When he said, I saw my dad cry, you could hear the conviction in his voice. Like it was a groundbreaking thing. I know what you're talking about. My dad. I wasn't with my dad when we won the Super Bowl, but he FaceTimed me and he had tears in his eyes. And I was like,
it's crazy.
I don't think I cried the last time around, which is weird to me because now I also wasn't with any family. This time I'll be with family. I'll be in Philadelphia, and it's a different love when you cover the team. I know what you guys are talking about. Now that we're all podcasters, we're established in our own respective ways. It's a different kind of love when you literally cover the ins and outs of this team for a season. And it is that love-hate relationship of where you expect more and then they give you more. That's the really cool part about the Eagles and the team this year is they haven't let us down yet. And I don't think that they're gonna, knock on wood.
Yeah, no, like just on that point, right? Like it's like I've spent the entire this is my first full Eagles season of like talking about the team. And really, this is my first Eagles season ever of being like a sports talk guy, right? This wasn't what I was before. My sports talk was at a lunch table with my friends at school. Like that was my sports talk. Now I'm on the internet for people to see, and it's like, and I've watched this team and I've talked about this team almost every day, whether it's on YouTube or whatever, but every day, and I've watched every game. Pre-games, post-games, everything. And it's like now we're at the point right now where I'm so emotionally invested and I don't know. Like all I'm thinking about is what's going to happen if we win. I'm going to cry. My dad may cry. I don't know. Maybe he already got his tears about the team over with. I'm only thinking about what happens if we win the game. But what if we lose the game? I don't want to think about it, but I'm so emotionally invested. What if we lose the game? I'm going to smash something. Like that's what it's going to get to. But that just shows like we're so emotionally invested. And I think Dalton said this too. Like people are going to make fun of us because we cry. Well, we don't get anything in the city of Philadelphia. We don't get anything ever. We're one of the most hated cities in the world. People trash our fan bases consistently. Our teams choke all the time.
Yeah.
We don't get anything. So the one time that we actually do get something, we're going to take it to heart, and we're going to this is something that is truly emotional, and you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just like but I've never seen my dad cry besides like twice, and that is like, and the Eagles being one of them.
Yeah, it just shows the generations of our parents, especially our dads, really just loving this team, and then obviously raising us right and just teaching us to like just be Birds fans and everything. So I just really hope that all of us are gonna be happy at the end of the day tomorrow, and we get the victory, man, because there's a lot at stake, and I feel for the people that like I know somebody that I grew up not with us anymore either. He was a huge Eagles fan, big impact in my life as well. His name is Cole, and he went to the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 52, and he battled through cancer, and just to see his reaction when I did see that video, he got to go to the Super Bowl with his dad. And just to see that, I even got more emotional just seeing that. He was such a great kid. But just, I think a lot of things, as we said before, just play out. Like a lot of people have somebody that they know that was a huge Eagles fan, or they still are huge Eagles fans. And you just think about that. And that's what I think about. Like, because I just think about the great fans that we've lost, but also the ones that are still with us. And it's what brings us together as a brotherhood. So I'm trying not to get emotional, but yeah. So.
The last thing I want to say too, and we'll kick it to you too one more time, Ryan, is I saw a tweet and it's going around on Instagram and it's pretty funny. And it's like somebody's like, don't put on this jersey unless you're ready to die for this shit. And like people joke about it, but it is like a for life blood pack kind of thing. When you're an Eagles fan, like you don't just switch up.
No,
but
not at all.
I know you can't. Like I was born an Eagles fan. I will die an Eagles fan. I will die a Philadelphia sports fan. 4 for 4, I will die like that. If we only have one Super Bowl in our lifetime, my lifetime, I'm going to consistently talk about that one Super Bowl that we get. You know what I mean? Like that is, but you got to die for it. I bleed green. You guys bleed green. Our families bleed green. Everybody listening bleeds green. And that is truly what people that aren't from Philly and are not Philly fans, they don't understand. They just don't get it. They look at us and they look at the about 5% of the Eagles fans that are like thugs, hood rats, and attack people at the games, but they don't look at the other half that truly want to win, truly care, truly get emotional, and they just don't understand that it's one big family. No matter where you're from, but if you're an Eagles fan, you're one big family, and people don't get that.
They don't. You're exactly right. They just see the people that do the crazy things, and they say, "Oh, all Eagles fans are like that." I've been hearing the thing. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, or it was the day before. Our good buddy PSG was interviewed by the Pat McAfee show, and one of the hosts had an idiotic question and asked him, "Oh, did you eat horse crap?" Like, because there was obviously the meme of the guy, the one drunk Eagles fan who did that. And it's put a whole stereotype on all of our fans, which is really annoying because one fan did that. And people use it. And PSG had a great response. He said, and he shut it down. He said, "No." And he just said, "I don't do that." And he's like, "I didn't do that. That's not me." He said, "That's not me. I'm not that guy." Like, it was like that meme too. So it's just like all these stereotypes we hear about. And it's upsetting because I've heard a lot of stereotypes towards me, towards other Eagles fans. But at the same time, though, I just think about the how like I've been able to be friends with I never would have thought I'd be friends with. I have friends who are Cowboys fans now, but like the thing is, I've met them through social media, and I've realized that not all Cowboys fans are like what we see in Philadelphia, where there's Philadelphia Cowboys fans, where they want to be the antagonist and they want to be like, "Oh, you know what? I'm a Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, but I'm a Cowboys fan." Like, there's some people like that, unfortunately, and they just want to be the villain and whatever. But there's not. Everyone wants to think that they see one video, they see one thing, and they take that and they take that stereotype and they run with it, and they're like, "Okay, that means that their whole fan base is like that." So that's the one thing in Philly sports. There's one thing. There'll be a video or something will surface, and then we have this target on our back all the time, 24/7. But honestly, some fans embrace it. I've also embraced it. Doesn't mean I want to act like an idiot, because I don't do that. But here's the thing, though. As Bro was just saying, though, the real fans will react to this if we win this game like true fans. And you'll see, though, what Philadelphia Eagles fans are really like. But yes, we're always going to get the narrative, and it's how it is. It's never going to change. So that's just what I've came to. I'm from that conclusion. It is what it is.
Right.
Get ready, boys. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited for it. I don't know that I've been this excited in a long time. Yeah. And I have a very, very good feeling. Let us know in the comments how you guys are feeling. Let us know your score predictions. And please,
we should do a score prediction.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All those little things mean a ton. Real quick, KJ, give me your score prediction. I know Broad already gave his in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I did not give mine yet. So I think the Eagles will play a great game, and I think it's going to be close. But my final score is going to be 31-24. Eagles win. I think the Chiefs are going to be beating us, but then I feel like the Eagles are going to have a good lead. The Chiefs might try and crawl back, but I think the Eagles get this done. I really do, and I think we will all be happy, and we'll all be rejoicing on Broad Street. I'm trying to find some champagne today, ready to go. I have cigars ready to go. I got my horn. Don't see my horn. I got that ready to go. Yeah. But then also my Phillies horn, rest in peace to the Phillies horn. I smashed at the smithereens. So I have the Eagles horn. I haven't done anything with it yet, but that thing might be smashed to smithereens if we lose this game. I'll just tell you that. So yeah, but we'll see. But I think the Eagles will win it. I said 31-24. That's my final score. And I think Saquon Barkley will be the Super Bowl MVP. He's going to have
And real quick, before we wrap up, Ryan, please tell the people where they can find you and give you a follow if they want to as well.
Yeah, so you guys can please subscribe to me on YouTube at Broad Street Sports, or also on Instagram and TikTok. That's where I post like just reactions during halftime and post game, and then I post clips from the podcast. But yeah, please subscribe to my YouTube. I'm gonna start doing live streams on there, the live call-ins, like a radio show. So I would greatly appreciate if you guys could go follow me and subscribe to me. But I do appreciate you guys having me on today.
Hey, no worries, man. We appreciate you jumping on here.
Yeah,
and hopefully we'll have some good news next week to maybe talk about with you or somebody else. Stay tuned. We'll be here next Saturday. Will be our season finale of Sippin' Sports. And then 302 Birds season finale will be this Wednesday. After that, we'll take a week off just to reset our minds, get everything straight. And then we'll be back the following week for season 8 of 302 Birds. And I think season 2 of Sippin' Sports, which is crazy to think about. But other than that, go Birds! Get your beads ready like Mac and get ready to storm Broad Street.
Let's go, boys.
Hey! Eagles!